Okay, welcome everyone. We're going to begin the webinar on an overview of EstimateScrubber.com. I'm Melissa Jolls with RDA Impact. Stephen Siessman, President, and Bob Sandkaut, Director of Product Planning for EstimateScrubber.com are your presenters today. The presentation will take approximately 35 minutes, and if you have questions during the webinar, you can type them in the chat box at the bottom right of your screen, and Stephen and Bob will answer those throughout or at the end of the presentation, depending on the question. And we are recording the webinar and we'll post it on our YouTube channel shortly. Now I'm going to turn it over to Stephen. Stephen?
Yes, good afternoon, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending the webinar with us. We're going to basically have it in two phases. The first is we have a small animation that's 4 minutes that we're going to show you. And then Bob is going to be doing a presentation of the product per se. Just real quick introduction is that we're based in San Diego, California. We've been in the market, Bob, both and I, for probably longer than we want to admit. Bob owned a shop and had worked with Autotex and Mitchell and is really an expert at these estimating platforms. And then I used to work with General Motors and Sherwin-Williams and was director of marketing at Mitchell long time ago, and then even a stint at CCC with the auto body division. So we really like the collision market, the shops, and they're trying to present a useful, inexpensive product that guys can use to identify revenue opportunities and just help run shops more effectively. So with that, we're going to go ahead and start with this 4-minute animation.
Today we will be presenting a short animation with an overview of the product, followed by a walkthrough. We hope you find this animation entertaining as well. Today we're going to look at 4 things. What's the benefit of the scrubber? What is scrubbing? What is it and what isn't it? How our scrubber works. And finally, Bob is going to give a real-time demonstration of our EstimateScrubber product. We've heard from our customers finding anywhere between $20 and $100 per estimate. I think this is one of my favorite quotes. This customer aggressively uses the scrubber on every one of their jobs and just is having great success with it. We've also heard that the scrubber helps shops save time by using it as a final check, rather than having somebody else go through it line by line. We offer something pretty unique, which is taking these collision estimates and translating them into a more consumer-friendly document. Help better explain what's going on and make the experience a little better for the consumer. So it's something different, it's unexpected, and hopefully they tell their friends and give the shop a very positive review. Scrubbing an estimate basically means exporting an estimate out of the estimating system, getting it up to the portal, performing logic behind it, and then presenting the results to the estimator so that they can be pointed in the right direction. Some pretty key differences between EstimateScrubber and compliance scrubbers in the market. First is that Scrubber is a platform, not just a program. EstimateScrubber uses PDF files, so it's not limited to a single estimating vendor's platform or tied to any particular system. Some parts of it are even free. EstimateScrubber is a cloud-based application, so the shop never has to load anything. When we receive the document, we read it almost like a person would and convert it to an electronic format for processing. The scrubber then uses advanced artificial intelligence and pattern recognition to extract the information. It then processes the information and creates the scrubbing list. There's 3 major components of the scrubber. The first component is where a shop can set up custom profiles. The second major component is where a shop can select which repair rules they want to check for. The final component is the app section of the scrubber. Scrubber has an extensive profile creation module. You can set up profiles for fleets, direct repair programs, insurance companies, or house rules. The profiles are targeted for the shop to help them do their work easier and more effectively at a fraction of the cost of the estimating providers' programs. What everybody seems to like and get right away is our repair rules. These repair rules really look at finding things that are missing on the estimate as well as identifying common writing mistakes. We worked with the SCRS and Collision Advice to implement some of the rules that they have created. What's unique about Scrubber is the ability to directly interface with third-party apps or apps that we write ourselves. We worked with Norton Abrasives as well as Exalta Coatings to develop invoicing apps. In addition, we work with Tonkin Parts Center to develop our OEM Scratch and Dent program. Scrubber is unique that we can work with almost anybody on any application. We do offer collision repairers a no-string 30-day free trial. For any collision repair to request a trial, they just need to text Bo, our sales guy, at 619-322-9663. So now time for the product demonstration with Bob. Thanks very much for your time.
Bob, we can't hear you. Can anybody else on the webinar hear Bob? I can't hear him.
We back?
Yeah, there you go. Now I can hear you.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, we couldn't hear. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody. Okay, guys, why don't you start with the PowerPoint presentation now?
If you go to www.EstimateScrubber.com, this is the screen you will see. You can log in. If you come down to register for a 30-day free trial, you can click this link, or you can go up to the register and register. Once you register, you'll have a 30-day free trial of EstimateScrubber. The black bar is basically the toolbar. It has information on how to register, how to buy, terms of use, frequently asked questions. You can also log in and manage your account from this black toolbar. It's necessary if you have multiple estimators in your shop. Each estimator would have to log in on their machine. Once you're logged in, it sets a cookie, and you should not have to log in again. It will remember you. There's also a contact us function where you can send us questions, and we answer them either by phone or by email. EstimateScrubber is pretty unique in the sense that the scrubber knows whether it's a CCC, Mitchell, or Auditex estimate. There's nothing you have to set to scrub a particular information provider. It automatically knows what it is. You would print an estimate in PDF format and put it in a file somewhere on your desktop that you could locate it when you wanted to scrub. You would basically go to Browse, select the estimate you want to scrub, and then click the coffee cup. We also have a demo feature, which has 5 CCC, Auditex, and Mitchell demo estimates in it that you can scrub just to see how it works. If you click on the Post-it note, in the notepad, you will receive an instruction manual. Basically, it's 23 pages and it has an index, and it covers pretty much everything you need to know about EstimateScrubber. Basically, what the scrubber does is it reads a PDF copy of an estimate, and this is an example. It's basically a 124-line Mitchell estimate. And this is a CCC estimate, I'm sorry. And what it does in less than a minute, it will turn it into a concise report of things it sees using our 33 rule structure. This one, it suggested on deployed airbag, do you need to clean up residue? Most bolts are one-time use. You know, have you performed a zero-point calibration? We look at common sense things that can commonly be missed on an estimate. I know I have difficulty reviewing a 200-line estimate. My brain turns to mush somewhere around the 50th line. This will do it for you in less than a minute. You can set profiles. You can set as many profiles as necessary for the shop. Profile basically covers a number of things. It covers administrative data. It covers rates. And if you set a $50 rate, it will flag it if it's over or under that rate. It looks for necessary repair items and can flag missing items, or if you don't ever want to see something on an estimate, you can select I don't want to see this on an estimate, and it will flag it. The interesting thing about this is you can select verbiage from all 3 information providers and put it in there, and it will scrub CCC, Mitchell, or Auditex estimates looking for these items. Section 3B is basically the same as Section 3A. You would put verbiage in, but you can also put a dollar and labor amount in. And again, it flags it if it sees it over or under what's in the profile. Section 4 is the rules. Commonly missed entries. We will discuss this a little bit further in this presentation. Other items, it'll flag the database age. I know a lot of insurers don't like you to update your DVDs until it expires. This, you can set it, you can say I want to flag anything over 45 days. And if the database age is over 45 days, it'll tell you. Optional items, thresholds, discount, markup, betterment, LKQ, and remanufactured parts use. You can set up parameters for that. And you can create any number of profiles you need. You can create an insurer fleet. You can create a shop profile. And the nice thing is you can scrub the same estimate in multiple profiles. So if you have a shop profile, you can set it up and scrub the estimate against the shop profile to ensure it complies to your shop rules. And then if you have another DRP, you can scrub the same estimate against the DRP profile. Okay, what makes EstimateScrubber unique? These are 2 things that make EstimateScrubber unique. You saw Wes Steffen basically added $100 an estimate. And how did he do it? Well, the first thing he did was he compared his estimate against the collision advice 30-20-10 rule. And what that does is it tells you where the estimate falls inside the parameters that collision advice said is the sweet spot, the most profitable mix of an estimate between labor, parts, and refinish. And this flags it. Labor guideline is 30%. The refinish labor guideline is 20%. Parts guideline is 38%. and refinish materials is 10%, and it will flag it if it's plus or minus the percentages that you see in the presentation. The other thing we do is we have the SCRS Complete Guide to Repair Planning. And what that does is SCRS has identified about 900 non-included operations that you might want to consider when you create your estimate. You can review the estimate against the SCRS rules by clicking this, and this will give you non-included operations by section. And this is specific to the estimate that was scrubbed. 33 repair rules. This is what the repair rules currently look at. We look for zero or missing parts prices and labor times and flag them. Can't tell you how many times I wrote an estimate and put in used parts out when I was writing the estimate and then forgot to call the supplier.
So these are the 33 rules.
Alex, we're hearing background noise on your phone.
Okay, hopefully we have that under control.
Okay.
So these are the 33 rules that EstimateScrubber currently looks at. We're in the process of developing another 5 to 10 rules. Should be in second quarter of 2016. Okay, we also offer a consumer estimate, and what it does is it takes the scrubbed estimate and it turns it into something that a layperson could read. Basically, we use a door for repaired panel, a hammer for we use a door for a replaced panel, a hammer for repaired panel, spray painter for refinish, and a tire iron for remove and install. And we explain the operations by the sections that have been scrubbed in the estimate. This can be printed out and it could be given to a customer to help them understand the estimate. Another thing that makes it unique is we offer Norton invoicing. We have all the Norton products in this scrubber, and you can select what you use and enter a quantity and create an invoice at retail. An example of the invoice. We also can create, out of ColorNet, a cost tracking report. We can create an Axalta invoice at retail. And basically, this is what it does. It takes a ColorNet cost tracking report that lists all the materials used in the refinishing process, and we can turn it into materials invoice with the Axalta and Chromax. We know what paint line is used, and it will print out an invoice you could present to an insurer if necessary. Along with this, we also do a Axalta overage underage usage report. And what it does, it tracks the refinish application hours in an estimate. And Axalta has a formula of basically 2 ounces of paint per application refinish hour. It converts that into a report. And it will tell the shop where its painters are in regard to, do they mix too much paint? Do they not mix enough paint? Pretty handy report. This can be printed out, given to anybody that needs it. This is another example. This is a Norton. This is how we create a Norton invoice. We list all the products. The first 7 tabs are for basically corrosion protection, sealing, and bonding and bumper repair. There's also an 8th tab that that has all the other Norton products available, the tapes, the paper, the plastics, everything necessary to do a refinish, to do a repair project on a car, and you can create an invoice with all that material. Okay, this is a review. One System scrubs Autotex, CCC, and Mitchell. It's completely cloud-based. There's no conflicts with software being loaded on a shop computer. There's no data pumps pumping data back and forth between the management system and the scrubber. One of the other big things is that it's an instant program update. If we find an issue with a scrub, we can go up overnight and fix it, and the correction is visible the next day. There's also two versions. There's a free scrub offering that has a limited functionality. It scrubs against 10 estimates or 10 rules, and doesn't cost a thing. Anybody can use it. Anybody can view the collision part source and the Tonkin information. There's also, we charge $25 a month or $300 a year. That's for the full version of the scrubber. We don't use commitments or contracts. It was designed by industry experts, and there's over 80 years of combined experience, shop and insurance experience involved in this. Scrubber is secure. It's an encrypted connection. We do not sell or share any shop information, any estimate information with any third party. One of the important features is it's independent and invisible. The pre-upload scrub, it's not visible by anybody. If they're scrubbing using a compliance software through a management system, the management system tracks everything they do. We're not linked or affiliated with any information providers or insurers. Basically, we're our own people. We're responsive to shop needs, and we have a 30-day free trial, no strings attached, no credit card necessary for the trial. We invite people to log in and try it for 30 days. EstimateScrubber basically becomes a second set of eyes. It can become a shop expert. I have shops that use it on their supplements as a final QA check to make sure they've got everything that they can get paid for. Mike Anderson says, you know, if you don't ask, you won't get paid. That's been pretty true. You can have as many estimators in one shop log on at the same time. It works simultaneously. But basically, that's it. I want to talk about one other thing, the collision part source. As a subscribing shop, the shop can list any surplus parts they may have in the shop that they want to get rid of. I owned a shop, and I always had a shelf full of parts that we couldn't return, and they were not put on vehicles. And I also know a lot of shops have that. They can now list those parts in EstimateScrubber, and those parts then become visible to all the other shops scrubbing estimates. If you scrub an estimate and there's a part available from another shop, it will tell you that there are parts available. It's very handy. And then we have the Tonkin scratch and dent. Tonkin is one of the largest parts suppliers on the West Coast. They have parts that come back that may have a little scratch or a little chip or a little dent, and they can't return them to the manufacturers. They are now offering those parts at a discount from the wholesale price on EstimateScrubber. And again, if a part's available from Tonkin, when you scrub that vehicle, it will tell you there's a part available. I think that's going to be a pretty handy feature because it offers a way to get rid of some surplus parts. If you buy a body side, you know, for the front hinge pillar, you you have a good quarter panel, you have a good B pillar you could sell if you could figure out how to advertise it. You can do that through EstimateScrubber, and again, that's at no cost. It's all included in the $25 a month. So basically, that is the quick trip through what EstimateScrubber does. We have now approximately 500 registered people that are going through a trial period, and it's growing daily. This was designed exclusively for the body shops to help them maximize their estimates and earn a little profit. And most of the stuff Scrubber finds is profit because the shop really has to do most of what we recommend to get the job out the door anyway. At least now they're going to get paid for it. Thank you much, and if there's any questions, I'd be glad to address them.
Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask Bob or Steve? I don't have any that have been taken yet.
Hopefully I didn't put anybody to sleep.
Thought you lost you for a while there.
Well, and again, that's a stupid Bob. I do that quite frequently.
Well, it doesn't look like there's any questions. Oh, here we go. How do we set up profiles?
How do you set up profiles? You would go. You want me to show them?
Yeah, show them.
Okay. Mr. Bow is taking over.
No. Stay there. No.
To set up a profile, you go through Login Manage Account. You go to the black toolbar. Again, when you log in, it will always show you the shop information first. You would go to Personalized Profiles. And now you could select a profile that you want to change. You could click Edit Profile. It will allow you in to set up profiles. The best way I can do is when you register, we set up a quick start profile for you. And that quick start profile has all 33 rules checked. You would go in and you could edit that profile. You can also clone the profile and put a different profile name in. Make the changes you want in the profile and save it. That feature saves you from having to enter this profile, everything in this profile, multiple times. So basically, you could just, put a name in it. Quick Start 2 and clone the profile. Now you will find, there it is, Quick Start Profile. You can go in and you can edit that in any way you want. Make the changes, and you could rename that to something else, like if you wanted to do a DRP profile. You could rename it something and clone it. Hopefully that explains the one of the other things you can do is you can also set it as a default profile. So this would be the profile you would see on every estimate you want to scrub. Hopefully that answers your question.
Any other questions?
We covered profiles pretty extensively in the instruction manual too.
Okay. Well, if we don't have any more questions, I will follow up by sending Stephen and Bob's contact information to you. So if you have additional questions or you want to set somebody up on a trial, they can help you with that. And I think that completes the webinar. I don't see any more questions. So thanks everyone for attending. Thanks Stephen and Bob. And oh, here's one more question. Will it be available on YouTube? Yes, I'll put this webinar. We are recording it. We'll put it on the YouTube channel. So yeah, we will have that there. And I'll follow up with an email to you guys telling you, giving you all the instructions. All right. Okay, everybody. Thanks, Steve and Bob. We appreciate your time. Thanks, everybody. And we'll be in touch with future webinars, training opportunities. Thanks, everyone.